Inmate ghouls? Unexplained taps in the tunnel? Has Shane been scratched? Grab a snack and help us unpack all that and more. It's time for Ghostbusters Debrief! Thank you for joining us. I'm Ryan Bergara, and that thing over there is my colleague Shane Madej. Shane?
Each week here on Debrief, we take a look back at our most compelling evidence, look at some behind-the-scene moments, and we'll answer your burning questions.
Long night?
Yeah, we just got back from a tour. The kind folks in Montana invited us out to shoot there. We did an episode of Weird Wonderful World there.
Yeah.
You unfortunately got COVID.
That's right.
Then we came back to Los Angeles.
I sure as hell did. It wrecked my body.
It really did. You were stuck in a Montana in a Butte hotel room for a number of days.
There was nothing beautiful about that hotel,
sir.
I'll tell you that.
And then we flew back, and in a way, I think you saved us, because the original night that we were meant to shoot, it was, I think, what, -20, -30?
It was gonna be -30 that night with wind chill. And
not good vibes.
And I know how bad it was that night because I was there.
You were.
Everyone
we all left.
And I was in that hotel room watching branches blow against my window like poltergeist. And I just looked out there, and there was a part of me that was like, I fell on the sword here.
Yeah.
In fact, Mark Celestino, our director / DP, actually told me when I got COVID, hey man, sorry you got COVID. I'm really glad we don't have to shoot tonight. It was a fun app.
It's a censored app for sure. You know, sometimes brands request that we don't be as nasty as we normally are, and that's fair. But if you'd like to watch the uncensored version, head over to patreon.com/watcher.
And there's a bunch of other stuff over there on Patreon too, not just
yeah.
the uncensored app. While we're in like plug-in mode, might as well.
What are you plugging?
Look, there's still tickets for the tour, folks.
Oh yeah!
If you want to go get some tickets for the Ghost Files tour, we have tickets left for San Francisco, and we added a second Los Angeles show because the first one sold out. Thank you, Los Angeles. So if you wanted to go to that one, you thought there weren't tickets left, fear not, there are tickets. You could buy tickets for the Los Angeles show and
home turf
San Francisco show.
And Vegas?
And Vegas.
And,
They're all...
Vegas is shaping up to be one hell of a finale.
Oh
maybe.
Boy. Could I tell you that?
We'll see.
Moving on, we do have behind the scenes coming for you guys, but before we get into that, here's a special message from the Boo Goo Containment Unit.
You know, apropos of nothing, Ryan, it occurs to me a lot of the places we visit really don't smell great. It's almost like ghosts take pride in stinking.
Yeah, I guess there is a variety of smells.
Speaking of, what is that intoxicating scent?
Oh, you just noticed. It's me.
That's you?
Well, it's actually a scent I chose from today's sponsor, Scentbird. Scentbird is reimagining everything about how people discover, shop for, and even express oneself through fragrances.
They let you choose a new designer fragrance every month for just $17. And you get to pick what you receive, so there's no surprises.
Scentbird has perfumes and colognes and a lot of unisex options, and carries brands like Prada, Gucci, Versace, as well as indie labels like Skylar, Heretic, and Confessions of a Rebel.
I have to say, I think the stinkiest ghost that we've ever come across was old Turkey Pete. I think if I were trapped in a cell with him again, I might offer him Dolce & Gabbana's Light Blue. Light blue smells both luxurious and comforting, with notes of Granny Smith apples, cedar, and bluebell flowers that I think both the ghostly prisoners and turkeys would really respond to.
Oh, that's a good one. As for the best smelling ghost, it would definitely be Madame Rosebud from the Magnolia Hotel. Apparently, she smelled more like cheap rosewater perfume, so we'd elevate her taste by offering her Be Delicious by DKNY. I love this fragrance because it sounds as hot as Madame Rosebud, refreshing grapefruit and cucumber with sensual undertones of magnolia, sweet red apple, and powdery roses. This month, I received 2 fragrances for us to try while ghost hunting. Oh. For me, Burberry's Brit Sheer.
Oh.
I love its notes of yuzu, mandarin orange, and pineapple that fade into floral scents, and creamy Amiris wood. It chills me out in my most stressful moments.
Creamy.
And because you don't believe in ghosts,
Yeah.
you know, I'm just going to continue letting you be the boss with Bitch Please by Confessions of a Rebel. You'll love the in-your-face fruit notes like blackcurrant mingling with jasmine petals mixed with creamy sandalwood. It's just like Shane when confronting the ghosts, sassy, bold, brash, and confident.
I'll tell you what, scan our QR code and use the code GHOSTFILES for 55% off at Scentbird. It's just a little over $7 for your first month, and it's available in the USA and Canada.
Let's get back to the debrief.
And let's smell good while doing it. How about that?
Oh, and we're back. It's time for some behind the scenes from Carter. Of course, this is Carter Cam, or Carter's travel log. We'll call it Carter's log. Let's take a good hard look at Carter's log.
There's nothing behind the eyes.
I'm ready to hunt ghosts.
In Montana.
Find some coffee. That's what
Find
we're
some
up to.
coffee.
Coffee, that's what we're doing.
I want some coffee.
Mark wants some coffee. We're gonna find some coffee.
Look at this guy. Acting like he reads.
Hey, dude, I'm just a local. Sir?
You looking at an ad?
Did you even, let me ask you this. Are you recording me? You recording me, sir? Did you even purchase something, or did you just walk in like the tourist you are?
Goons filming something outside. Montana momenting.
What are you getting there, Bergoose?
Getting some cream ale.
Yes. Some local creamers.
Oh, there's nothing better than getting locally creamed at a
Creamy
hotel.
local. Brendan, what do you got there? Nice jug?
A little jug of water.
Beautiful.
This is his first travel trip. We can't be talking like this.
Oh. This is what life is like for warriors of the supernatural.
As we see Aaron's flashlight in the bushes, we also see an area about 20 feet away in the dirt where he landed. Something unseen picked Aaron up and threw him this distance. What?
20 feet.
20 feet? The ground so hard. I told you you'd never guess. 20 feet?
The whole cell or prison.
Yeah.
Including the women's cell.
When you keep saying GoPros, are they actually Ghost Pros or are they actual GoPros?
There's two conversations.
Showing Mark's room pre ghost hunt. Both beds filled with everything.
Oh yeah.
Very sleepy, but ready to rumble.
Montana State Prison, baby. Snowing. So they asked Brendon and I to move the golf cart with no keys out of this hallway here so the cars can park.
It's a beautiful night here at the prison. Nice and snowy. It's like Christmas. It's like Christmas out there. Lizzie, you ever seen snow like this on a ghost hunt?
Not like this, baby.
Not like
This is
this.
some special ghost.
That's Montana. Now this is, dare I say, this is a Montana moment. It's a Montana moment. Another solid log from Carter. Hey, now let's look into the evidence we've captured in the old Montana prison and what our eagle-eyed viewers have
Why are you
spotted.
putting in quotations old Montana prison? It's a real place.
Allegedly.
No, it's a real place. We were there.
Well, what'd you get this week, Ryan?
All right, this is from @JustinBoutine8841. I'm glad you guys are still getting them ghouls. I had something for the debrief, but I think I'm too late. No, you're not.
No, you're not,
No, you're not,
Justin
Justin. You're
Boutine.
just on time. I just wanted to say that at 3309, the sounds from the pipes, assuming they are either low or high pressure steam, were experiencing some water flashing into steam, which water does at 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Albeit, I'm only a third-year apprentice in the pipe trades. I could very well be wrong. Is it a possibility, considering Shane never touched the pipes?
I think I just backed into it.
You definitely did not. There's
I think I
video.
just didn't back into it in the same way that I did when I tested it. I don't trust you guys. I think I backed into it.
There you go. You look, take a look at the replay.
I know my body and what it hit.
Hey, you want some popcorn?
Yes, that's perfect.
What the fuck was that?
Is that you?
Is that the pipes? That was the pipes.
But why did it tap like that?
I think it was me.
But you didn't back into them!
I personally think it was me. When I demonstrated it, I backed in a certain way. I think I still hit him in it, but probably with like my boot or something.
This is like in football when they go to like video review and it shows someone stepping out of bounds, and if the player was like, I didn't step out of bounds.
I mean, we don't have.
We have video of you stepping
But we
out of
don't
bounds.
have
That's
full
your
video of my body not
That's your foot out of bounds.
My body is blocking the view of those pipes. We can't see if my body does or doesn't make contact with the pipes, so we can't be sure, and I believe I hit those pipes.
I step out of bounds.
Do you think we would not notice if those pipes were 212 degrees Fahrenheit when it was 20 degrees out?
We're not observant guys.
We would have known if the pipes were hot.
That's true. I guess we would have known. I still don't think you touched the
I touched the pipe.
I don't think you touched the pipe.
I, Shane Madej, touched the pipe.
You'd be a bad football player. @_TXHRXXM. What kind of Star Wars droid submitted this question? Did anyone else hear a faint whisper sounding like someone saying, "There he is," right before the footsteps at 3349? And then somebody else responded to it, "Yes, I'm definitely did."
Sure, let's take a look at this one. There he is.
Let's hear this faint whisper.
Here come that boy.
I will say that you definitely hear some sort of breathiness.
An oral aberration.
You hear some sort of voice or breath, and because there's nobody down there, I do think that's interesting. I just don't know if it says "there he is." But there is something down there. Of course, we later hear a scream down there, which I thought was pretty crazy.
Sort of like,
It's pretty nuts. It could be somebody in pain.
All right, next piece of evidence.
There are actually multiple watchers who pointed out the EVP saying hi at around 39 minutes and 44 seconds into the video. Let's take a look.
If you could say Ryan, I'd be even more happy.
Bonus points if you say my name.
Bonus points if you acknowledge.
I have to say, at looking at that, you do hear the hi, but we don't see my face, and we don't hear me talking while the hi is happening. So it's possible that actually is my breath.
I also just don't buy it. I mean, I don't buy any of it, but I also don't buy it in the middle of like a conversation.
If you and I were talking, I would be more compelled, because the fact that you're talking and then you hear the hi and then I start talking makes me feel like it would have to be my breath. I would have to look at the audio track, and because we've already looked at these audio tracks very, with a lot of vigilance, I imagine that we probably ruled that out already. So
Nice.
I think that's probably
Good for us.
I think that's probably me, unfortunately.
Sometimes in the middle of our conversation, Ryan will sneak in a hi to me.
I will do that.
He'll just be like, hi. I'll be like, hey man, it's good to see you.
Yeah, I get real nervous sometimes. Once we cut these cameras, he doesn't talk to me. He's very Hollywood like that.
Yeah.
He's been like that since the beginning of the show. And I just try and sneak in the small talk.
If he makes eye contact with me, I bare my teeth
Yeah.
and growl.
Anyways, thank you to all our eagle-eyed watchers out there.
Stay vigilant!
This is where we bring on one of our amazing crew members and hear about their experience ghost hunting with two of the best ghost hunters around. And today's special guest is Watcher's very own Brendon Ryu.
Whoa! Here he comes! Yeah! But actually, how you could talk about how you first helped out. How did you first join us?
I helped out for one small thing in November, and then
For survival mode.
For survival
yeah.
mode.
And we had such a great time working with Brendon on survival mode that we said, hey, come on, hang around more.
We do have some exclusive questions for you, Brendon, from our wonderful patrons. BA Adventures, this isn't even a question, but congratulations on your promotion. Brendon, has your first foray into ghost hunting made you more excited or more filled with dread?
honestly,
Are you scared?
Yeah.
that first one, I was scared at first, really, because it was a prison, first of all.
It was a prison,
Yeah.
Did we have you do that funny thing we do where we ask you to go grab one of the static cams?
Oh yeah, alone. Oh my god. You guys sent me to the tunnel alone for the first time, and the footstep detector went all crazy too.
Oh, that's always fun.
The fun thing about the footstep detector is it doesn't work.
Yeah, it sure does.
It's in several of our episodes, and we have not used it once because it doesn't work.
Maybe it's because we put it on like concrete. Maybe it needs to be on like wood or something.
I think I just got fucked up in travel.
That's
honestly.
possible.
All right, this comes from Katie Wirtz. Hey, Brendon. For you, what has been the most unexpected or surprising aspect of going on ghost hunts? Also, we have to know, where do you fall on the Shaniac-Bergara spectrum?
The most unexpected aspect, I think that nothing happens for more than like 3 hours at a time. I expected like phasmophobia type of stuff when I first came out.
That is the common misconception,
Yeah.
And folks on ghost hunting shows would have you believe that's how it happens, but not here. We show you the truth, which is not a lot happens, and most of it happens in post because we have to search through the evidence.
Oh, where do you fall on the spectrum?
Yeah,
I don't believe in ghosts, but I want to believe in ghosts.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool to see one. I don't think that will ever happen.
Same.
Yeah.
This comes from Jessica. Brendon, I have a hard-hitting...
Why'd you say Jessica like Sling Blade?
Jessica. Brendon, I have a hard-hitting question for you.
That's what Jessica said.
Out of Steven, Shane, and Ryan, who would you wanna A, be stuck on a desert island with, B, sit next to on a transcontinental flight, or C, fight to the death? I like fight to the death because it's the one that Brendon thinks he could take.
Yeah.
So let's start with that one.
Yeah.
Fight to the death. Probably Steve.
I was gonna say.
Stuck on a desert island. Probably Ryan.
I think you guys would die. You might want to pick me just for surviving.
I was gonna say,
I watch a lot of Alone.
I actually respect that, and I'm very touched by that.
That's very sweet of you, but if you want to make it, you might want to pick
But if you want to survive, you probably want to pick
I can make a fire, I can make a shelter.
He was a Cub Scout or so he says.
I was. I didn't get my Eagle thing. I quit.
Maybe actually stick with me then. Last question for Brendon here from Patreon, from Ellis. Hello, Brendon. From a 1 to a 10, how scared are you of Robbie and Shane?
Of us?
Also, do you believe Shane is a demon? Come to haunt Ryan. These questions are amazing. 1 to 10, how scared are you of Shane?
Maybe like a good 6.5.
6.5?
In what sense? What do you think I'm gonna do?
I don't know, it's just authoritative figures.
You're his boss. This is a crazy thing we're doing. We're asking our employees on camera, how scared are you of me? If it's anything less than a 7, I'm gonna be pissed. And now for me, I think I have an idea here.
Maybe like a 5 or a 6.
Oh my God! I thought for sure it was gonna be more.
That's crazy.
Actually, I need to know now, Stephen.
I don't really interact with Steven too much, so.
So you're gonna kick his ass, and you're not afraid of him?
0. -10.
Because I'm putting his ass in the ground.
Anyways, thank you for joining us here on the set, Brendon.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
It was great to have you on
the stuff you
location.
do on Ghost Files. One of the unsung heroes here. He actually is part of a piece of debunked evidence, which you might see on the next Ghost Files.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brendon.
Moving on, let's get to some normal quahs from you guys. Quah! 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 This is where we answer your guys' questions directly from you, the viewers at home.
Straight from the source.
Including at least 2 questions every week exclusively from our patrons over on patreon.com/watcher. First question is from Patreon. This comes from TJ. Do either of you have a favorite depiction of ghosts in media? That's an amazing question.
That's a good question.
I prefer the Japanese horror depiction. I like that. It's always spooked me out. Just kind of like a pale face, long black hair, or in the case of that little boy from The Grudge, just kind of like a bowl cut.
I also love in Poltergeist when and I don't know what it is, when they open up the closet and you see that the really gaunt creature. I guess it's intended to be a ghost, but I don't really know. It's just really freaky looking. Remember?
Yeah.
Remember that fucking thing?
That's true. All the Shining ghosts are good too.
Shining ghosts are great.
Let's take a question from Instagram. This is from Angelise Awkward. For Debrief, Ryan, now that aliens are apparently real, do aliens have ghosts? I have no idea. I don't know how to answer that because we don't know if an alien has a soul. Do we?
Well, it's a living thing, I guess. Does he do aliens?
I don't know. What if God was one of us?
What if God was an alien?
What if God...
Just a stranger on the bus?
Let's move on. Let's go to Twitter or Twix or X. Twix. This comes from @Moodini. Would you both ever consider doing the Estes method at the same time? I think it would be interesting to see what would happen and if the conversation would hold any evidence.
I think it would be absolute nonsense. We've been doing the Estes method live on stage in this tour. It's a crapshoot.
I don't know how that would work because...
Well, also if we had this, it's the radio, so we would hear the same things at the same time and should allegedly be saying what we interpret.
But that's what I'm getting
So
at.
you'd get 2 guys in unison being like, Toyota!
It's useless.
It's pointless.
And but
it would be fun. We're just doing pseudoscience.
That's not true.
It is true.
We're trying to find ghosts,
Yes,
goddammit.
but it is pseudoscience.
One day, there will be science that allows us to measure ghosts.
We have a long one from YouTube here. This is from Jling9347. Shane, why do you believe that it is scientific to say something definitively is not real without evidence that it does not exist? It is generally considered unscientific to say something is not real or cannot occur without proof, or world cannot operate as it does if they did exist. Further, we learned during Mystery Files that Shane believes something is solved by choosing what is most plausible, whereas Ryan needs all other theories to be scientifically disproven, but in science you cannot choose what happened because it makes the most sense to you. That being said, can you explain how your stance on ghosts, that ghosts aren't real, which you say is based on science and reality, is scientifically sound? It's more scientific to believe that something is possible to try to disprove it than to believe that something isn't possible without concrete evidence.
That's an amazing, well, how about that? What do you think about that?
No, I don't think that's how it works. You can't say no one's ever seen a unicorn, so it's up to us to prove that unicorns don't exist. That's how it works.
Yeah, you're putting unicorns and ghosts on the same
I am,
plane
because
there.
they're both fake.
That's crazy.
No, it's not crazy. Show me a photo of a ghost.
I've shown you several. I've shown you hundreds.
Where's a photo of a ghost in a zoo?
I'm sure we could find one. I've shown you so many.
Show me a ghost that they've captured in a lab that scientists have been able to get.
I still don't think you believe it.
I would. It's not up to us to prove that they don't exist. It's up to you to prove that they do. And no one has done that using scientific method.
Flailing.
So,
flailing.
Nice try.
Flailing out there. This comes from Twitter, @2spooky. How did you guys get an entire state to sponsor you? They called the red phone that you see at the beginning of the Ghost Files episodes, which is how we vet all of our sponsors. Brendon answered the call, and he said, hold on, I'll get Mr. Bergara for you. And then he walked into my office, he said, Mr. Bergara, and I was like, yes, Brendon. And he was like, we have Montana on the phone for you, sir. And I said, tell them I'm at lunch and I'll get back to them later.
He would have asked me, but he was too afraid.
YouTube, @LQHatred. Do the ghosts you guys had visited ever haunt you in your dreams? #Debrief.
In your dreams?
Have you ever had a dream where we're ghost hunting?
No.
One of the dreams I had recently, it was actually when we were on tour. I was drifting off in the hotel room.
High as hell.
I did take a sleep gummy. And when I went to sleep, I had a dream that I was doing a solo investigation, and I woke up and I was like, my heart was pounding.
Damn, dude.
I truly don't like
that figured
the
out.
solo investigations. Really scare the shit out of me.
Yeah.
All right, another one from YouTube, @Zandria8337. Do you all ever think that maybe the ghosts can sense fear and that's why they don't respond as much or interact freely, because they only want to interact with people who are really scared and they could tell you guys aren't that scared? Because I think that, LOL.
They're not dogs.
I actually think that this question is a bit odd because every episode I'm deeply afraid in the solos. I've gotten a little bit better of putting on the facade, which I will drop next season. But inside,
Because next season we're gonna feed you 50 milligrams of THC.
No.
We're gonna throw you in the haunted house. We're gonna lock the doors till sunrise.
No, but the thing is, I already am scared. So if there was a heartbeat monitor or like a heart rate monitor on me when I was doing these solos this season, you would just see it going nuts.
Yeah.
But I've gotten better at appearing to be normal in life and in solos.
Yeah.
All right, Tasha J says.
This is from Patreon?
This is from Patreon. Love seeing this in Minneapolis. My boyfriend wanted to get to ask a question. He's got stage 4 cancer and he wanted to tell Ryan if he was okay with it, he'll come back after he's gone. And so he could tickle Ryan's balls. So that Ryan could know that ghosts are absolutely real.
That's very sweet.
Since he didn't get to, I've put you on notice. And then somebody commented on that comment saying, I really want your comment mentioned in the debrief. This is the best foreshadowing of evidence and trying to obtain consent for touch in the brightest light of a darkest hour, strength and love.
You know, if you really want to move the needle in more ways than one, you should also do mine. Because if you are like, I felt a tickle.
That's right.
Again, it's not gonna have that much weight to it.
No, it's only gonna be 2 blips on the radar. Now we could have 4.
4, you could have 4.
That's right.
That is a very sweet gesture.
That's a very sweet. I appreciate the gesture of you posthumously tickling my balls. And
he appreciates the gesture in the big picture, but also probably in the moment.
In the moment, I will. Well, that wraps up this investigation. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Ghost Files Debrief and Ghost Files the past episode. Remember to watch the episode that's coming up this next Friday. and to submit your questions for the next episode on Patreon, YouTube, Twitter, or Instagram, and maybe you'll be on the next episode of Ghost Files Debrief.
And again, if you'd like to see more behind-the-scenes content and to see Ghost Files episodes early, consider becoming a member of our Patreon community over at patreon.com/watcher.
And we'll see you guys next week when we investigate a home haunt.
A home.
We're actually going to somebody's home. They've invited us in, and we could only be invited in, like Dracula.
That's right.
Or Jesus. Thanks again to Scentbird. Make sure to scan our QR code and use code GHOSTFILES to get 55% off your first month at Scentbird. Bye. Wait, I know how to test if it's you. Tell me if this hurts.
Ow, fuck. What? It's just a bit, don't worry. Don't worry, everybody. Don't worry.